Wheat School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Syngenta Canada, Alberta Wheat Commission, and C&M Seeds.
Holly Derksen, plant pathologist with Manitoba Agriculture, joins us here on Real Agriculture. We're at Ag Days in Brandon, and Holly, you were part of a study looking at Fusarium levels, comparing wheat varieties and Fusarium levels in 2016. Of course, last year was a bad year for Fusarium. Can you fill us in on what this study was about?
Sure. So it's been an ongoing study, started in 2009, and what we're looking at is for our spring wheat varieties, post-registration evaluation of their Fusarium. So to be registered, they only need, I think, 3 years of data, or I actually don't know particularly how many years of data they need, but it's important to be evaluating them over a number of different locations, as well as a number of different environments, and obviously every year is different for Fusarium levels. So we've been doing this study, as I mentioned, since 2009, and has shown varying results, somewhat varying even from what we have them registered as far as their resistant levels to Fusarium hepalite. It's a study we hope to continue, and the more years data we get, hopefully the better idea we even have about these varieties. But I encourage everyone to look at it and see what they're considering their varieties for 2017, look and see how the varieties performed under these wide range of conditions. Now, it's important to note, not every variety was tested every year at every location, so obviously some of the newer varieties would only have data from 2014 and 2015, for example. We do use a statistical analysis to try and even out those results so that hopefully it's not putting a huge impact on different environments in different years. Also, we don't have the 2016 data yet.
Okay.
So that will play a big part of changing those ratings as well, I'm assuming, or not those ratings, but how they performed and how the graphs look. Just obviously 2016 was a big year for Fusarium, as Kelvin mentioned, and I imagine all varieties performed a little worse in 2016, even the ones with good resistance, just because the pressure was so high from Fusarium.
So have you noticed any general trend, or is it just some varieties are better, some varieties are worse? Some are the same, I guess, as what they were in the registration trials?
Yeah, basically that's exactly right.
Okay.
So it's kind of all over the place. We can't say that we have been consistently showing better resistance or worse resistance than what the varieties are registered as. It really differs depending on the year. We just look at FDK and DAWN, so we aren't actually visually identifying symptoms in the field, but we do feel like FDK and DAWN are obviously giving us a good identification as what kind of Fusarium we had. But we're also looking at the relationship between FDK and DAWN, so it is showing that that relationship is different every year, and some years it's a very strong relationship, and some years it's a weak relationship, and some years we're close to that 1-to-1 ratio that's been talked about in the past, and some years we're not very close to it at all. So that's an important part of the study as well.
Is there any trend there in terms of, is that relationship moving in one direction?
So
No?
there are years where it is a really weak relationship, and I have no idea why. So maybe someone smarter than me can figure that out, but I don't know why. But I think it is important, especially when you talk to one place that maybe is only looking at FDK, but obviously a lot of markets are looking for your DAWN levels, so that's important to remember.
So what's the take home then from this study for farmers? What should they learn
I would
from
say,
this?
look beyond just the ratings that are necessarily in the seed guide. Look for studies such as these to give a better representation. And even though it was performed in Manitoba, I think the study is applicable across the prairies to look at the different varieties and their ratings.